Here we have another example of what happens when institutions that used to be respected get feminized. This is Ari Kitsia, an OF seller, invited to Harvard and the University of Washington to speak about being offered $10K for her bowel movements.
Somebody asked me to put it in a box and send it to them email for $10,000 so they could get it, and I did not do it.
Back up.
I just wanted to go.
God, how much are they going to pay you for that?
$10,000.
Oh my God. I'm in the wrong industry.
No, see, you guys don't understand. This course is called The Diversity of Human Sexuality. So it's totally fine for them to discuss this. It's basically Call Her Daddy on a college campus, hosted by an equally degenerate woman. Looking at the professor's Instagram, it's pretty clear the class is just an extension of her personal brand. Take a look at one of the recent lessons that took place in her class. Bayland educated my class today about how these toys are so much more than those these days. There are stimulators, wearables, and toys. Wow, truly groundbreaking stuff they couldn't possibly access without spending thousands in tuition. She's kidding herself if she thinks this has any educational value. The University of Washington, where this course takes place, gets more federal research money than any other public university in America. And every time they get a grant, they take a cut for their university overhead, and that's what helps pay for the buildings, the lights, and the bureaucracy that makes a course like hers possible. Some of that federal overhead even pays for the salary of this professor who teaches this course. So when an OF girl stands in front of hundreds of students and tells them about getting offered $10,000 in a box, you should know who helped pay for that. You did. Feels good, doesn't it? And apparently Harvard looked at her and said, sure, let her teach our students the ins and outs of her totally ethical business. You know, the one that routinely lies to paying customers about who they're actually speaking to.
Guys, I'm flying to go speak at Harvard. What the Somebody told me when I first started as a mattress actress that I would be going to speak at Harvard. I would think that they have something very wrong with them.
Well, she's right. There is something very wrong here. And the fact that she's actually being invited and whatnot, it doesn't make it less insane. It's an indictment of Harvard, the University of Washington, and the state of our institutions as a whole, how far they've strayed and how feminized they've become.
I really am so grateful that these schools are allowing people from the industry to come share our perspectives because it's so important. We are such a huge industry that has so many misconceptions about us, so it's really cool to be able to share our experiences and our perspectives.
Misconceptions about the industry. What, so she doesn't sell her to anyone on the internet with a credit card? That's just our misconception.
Come share our perspectives because it's so important.
Having her there is so important that nobody can actually explain why without using some vague emotional language. Once you look past the word salad, you'll see it's just about showing support for prostitution. For example, from this professor's Instagram, she says, I invited OF creator Ari Kitsia back to speak to my human sexuality class. Here's a few highlights. We talked about the unseen aspects of her industry, balancing an online persona with IRL personhood, the toll of constant visibility, performing emotional labor, and the demands of social media, all while holding the necessary boundaries associated with her job. Yeah, in other words, she was brought to normalize the lifestyle, give it institutional backing, and put the spotlight on it. When Helen Andrews popularized the idea that it's the feminization of institutions that caused them to become woke and deteriorate, she was correct.
Wokeness is simply feminine patterns of behavior applied to institutions where women had not been very well represented until recently. And the sort of piece that made it all click into place for me was the coincidence of timing. It is the case that a lot of institutions that went woke or were affected by wokeness became demographically female in the last 5 years.
So put plainly, the more female an institution becomes, the more it acts like one. We've been hearing about it for years, right? How women are the ones dominating college attendance. So it makes sense that this kind of stuff is popping up. Take this clip, for example, that was created after she spoke, I guess. The professor walks in, flips off the camera, and then the OF chick walks in and does the same thing. It's just juvenile. But I suppose expecting professionalism from a 50-year-old woman who lectures young adults on kinks and is a stretch. And the girl that was invited to talk in her recent content, she's using the Harvard invite as a gotcha to her critics. Criticism like nobody will respect that job and fans detected, opinion rejected. Her responses have been, Harvard invited me to talk about business. Harvard endorses this. This is my third university talk. The biggest institutions in the country are backing me. Your criticism is invalid. And she's right that Harvard is now endorsing her, but just because she got invited to speak doesn't vindicate her life choice, her lifestyle. It's a reflection of the universities themselves and of the people bringing her in, normalizing her, promoting her and her lifestyle while insisting they're not. The real problem is that universities are running courses where women like Ari fit like a glove in the first place. Courses that are a couple steps away from turning into an orgy. Courses where making money through sex is treated as progressive and cool. Harvard has come a long way from the Puritans who founded it to celebrating women who sell videos of their crotch to strangers.